So many of us who are working are used to doing the same things each day, each week, each year. When you finally decide to close the working chapter of your life, it leaves a gap. So think about it. Assuming you're not working overtime, once you retire, you'll have freed up over 2,000 hours per year to do whatever you want to do. So what are you going to do with all that free time? First off, thanks again for listening in and welcome to our Blue Collar Wealth podcast studio. Today, I'm talking about the act of retiring. And this is a bit outside the box for me because I'm not really talking about money in this video or financial issues. Instead, I'm focusing on your identity. What do I mean by that? It's real simple. For decades, you've been held accountable to somebody, right? Whether it's your boss, your partners, your customers, your plant, your factory, your office, or maybe you were working from the corner of your room in your house with your laptop. Regardless, someone was expecting you to do something and they relied on your efforts. Now, suddenly, with that need to go to work, with that gone, some people have an awful time adjusting to that stage of retirement when that absence is there. They feel kind of lost. They may be unappreciated, and especially if their spouse is still working, they can feel less valuable, like they're not pulling their weight. Not everyone goes through this, but for those of you who do, it can be far more than you expect and even take years to pull yourself out of that empty, lost kind of feeling. So what can you do to reduce or eliminate those kinds of feelings? Hey, I'll start by sharing a true story that one of our great clients told us during an interview a few years ago. He's now very comfortable in his retirement lifestyle, but it was rough going out of the gates, right? According to him, of course. After so many years, though, of decades really, of going to the same office and really doing a great job earning income for his family, he finally decided to hang up his working hat, focus on his next chapter. Mostly family, some travel, and some projects, of course. Now, this is a really smart, friendly guy who had done a ton of prep with regards to crunching his numbers, so he felt confident that he was ready. But what really hit him was the punch he didn't see coming. He lost his identity. He lost his purpose. He hadn't really thought about that, really. All the years of going to work every day, bringing home a nice income stream, every single year, that's who he was, right? It wasn't his whole self, but that was a huge part of him. And suddenly that was gone. And as he told his story to me, far better than I'm telling it now, he told me how odd it was for him to see his wife go to work in the morning. She didn't retire. She was leaving him to do whatever he wanted to do around the house, whatever he had that day. And according to him, none of his identity crisis was attributable to his wife. So full disclosure for her. It was all pressure and concern that he put on himself, on his own shoulders. What was his purpose? Where was it? So if they didn't need him to go out and earn something, then what was he needed for? In fact, he even joked that late in the afternoons, when it got close time to his wife to come home from work, he would migrate out to the garage where the workbench was to at least give the impression to her that he was out there working on something. I don't know if he was fooling her or fooling himself or maybe both. I'm not sure. The point of the story is, for your benefit here, is that this guy is bright. He's literally one of the nicest people you can meet. But even he didn't see that part coming, and he's not the only one who has shared stories like that with us here at Stonehouse. So sometimes it can take forever to find your stride with retirement, and some people slide right into it like it was natural. So which type do you think you are? Let's see if I can give you a few things to start thinking about today so you don't stumble out of the gates of your retirement. My first recommendation would be to avoid retiring cold. Not old, cold. What do I mean by cold? I mean with no plan or even thoughts of what you're going to do the next day. That can be like hitting a wall. Instead, make a checklist and be sure you're coming back and checking that list in the future. Break that list up into different categories, and I'll run through some ideas for you. Number one, identity. All right, what are you good at? Find a way to do more of that. Now, these don't have to be only productive things that you're good at. They can be fun things. Like maybe you're into golf or tennis or pickleball now these days, right? Maybe it's a craft, or it's fishing, or watching your grandkids. Whatever it is that you truly enjoy and are pretty good at, make it a part of your identity. Number 2, learn. What have you always wanted to do? Find a way to do that. There are millions of classes out there you can take on everything from learning a new language to learning how to dance, learn the history of your area, play an instrument. The choices are unlimited, right? Number 3, value. How can you still add value to your wealth, to your home, to your family? Find a way to do it. Do some remodeling. I love doing remodeling projects around the house, right? Help a family member, even if it's just some companionship that they're looking for, some sage advice they need, or babysit your grandkids if you're good at that, right? Look for part-time work. I mean, we all know that there's a lot of available positions all over the place out there these days, and having a part-time commitment can greatly add value to your mindset as well as to your income stream. Number 4, interest. What are your hobbies or likes, right? Find a way to do those things, from simple stuff like doing a puzzle, reading a book, to more intense goals like learning to play an instrument again, maybe traveling to different continents or jumping out of an airplane, which my father did. Start making a list of these things that you want to do more of once you have all these extra hours. And I think I'm on 5 right now. So family and community, right? Find a way to give back to your kids, to your parents, to your siblings, even to your community via volunteering. This category is endless, right? But when you spend time with family, you're never going to regret it. So if you still have more time to give, there's a million things that your community probably needs. And for every need, there's probably one or several organizations scrambling to find volunteers to help them with that cause. Be part of that solution. Oh, I almost forgot. I knew there was one more. Travel. Maybe travel a lot, maybe just a little bit, but have an idea of how often and make a list of all the places that you mean to get to before time runs out. Just a word of advice here. If you have places on your list that involve a lot of physical dexterity and strength, you might want to consider putting them at the top of that list, right? I know a lot of 60-year-olds who still enjoy hiking and skiing, but I don't know many 80-year-olds who can say the same. Now, my last piece of advice that I bet you've never considered: practice your retirement. Make a test run at it. I mean, most people aren't used to practicing retirement, but take a week or two of built up time or vacation that you have and don't go anywhere. Stay right around your home and your local community. Remember the story I shared about the great guy who was surprised how he felt so different? This will give you a taste of what it was like on the other side of work. So during that time, take note of what you do, what you feel, and what thoughts start going through your mind. Hopefully these ideas motivated you to open your mind and actually visualize what retirement can look like, beyond just the financial parts of it. Start listing out those items I talked about right now. Build on it, even during your retirement. It should never be finished. Keep adding to that list. And hey, I'm not saying that the financial part isn't important. It is. I'm just saying that there's more to a successful retirement than just the numbers. But if you find yourself still wondering, about the numbers and whether or not you're financially ready to close that chapter of your life and move to retirement, do yourself a favor, hit the easy button, reach out to one of our advisors at Stonehouse and learn more about our Future You analysis that can show you exactly whether or not some of those ideas you're putting on your list might be affordable and what might not be. And hopefully they become part of your lifetime achievements. I wish you all the very best of luck as you think about that next chapter in your life.